Hello everybody, it is Jamarcus here, and this video will just be a little recap of my first ever draft league that spoilers, ended up winning the whole thing. So this was PUDL, the Ultra Ball tier, Ultra Ball Division, second season. So we ended up winning the whole thing somehow. This was playoffs. I think there's a couple errors on this, like I think a Flamingo got one more kill than it was meant to, and then Moltres should have another kill, but we'll talk about that in a second. Um, but not that. Teams. This is the team that did it for me. I had first pick. This is actually not the draft order. This was just the order of points. The draft order was Pult, then Dio and Azu, then Gren and Shox, then Overquill and Serena, which when I say and, that's my wheel picks. Then Moltres Flamingo, then Dunsparce Berserker. And I have the correct order over here somewhere. But a fantastic team. I think it was rated like an A plus amongst the mods. They were saying, "Oh, your steel type's a berserker. That's gonna hold you back," which it definitely is. It definitely did. Having a better steel type than berserker would be nice. My resists aren't fantastic. Like my ground resists are these three, who don't come to every game. These stats are not included in playoffs, by the way. Well, I have the stats for everything included. We'll take a look at that in a second. But yeah, that's the team I have. I picked Pult. Second I knew I got first pick, it was between Pult and Dio. I'm like, do I pick Dragapult? Do I pick Deoxys Speed? I decided to go with Dragapult, and somehow Deoxys made it back to me. I planned on picking Azumarill plus Scizor after Dragapult, but I saw Dio made it back. I'm like, I gotta pick Dio. So I went with Dio, and then I decided to go with Azu still as my plans there. In hindsight, Iron Treads was still available, and Greninja. But I maybe should have picked Iron Treads, but I went with Azu instead, and hey, it worked out. It came back to me again, and Gren was still available. I'm like, oh my god. I mean, I know my team's already so fast, but let's get Gren. Get one more big offensive threat. I very much picked Gren because I saw how good Addison did with it in the second season of I think it's PPL, right? And then that's also why I picked Serena. Um, So I picked up Gren and then Shocks because I wanted some hazards and then some defensive stuff and my Terra Captains. We'll get to the Terra Captains in a second. So let's look at, I know this is not a very pretty spreadsheet, but this is the stats for all of my Pokemon. Everyone got a kill except Berserker, but I did bring everything. I can say that. Dragapult came to every single game. Deoxys didn't come to week 1, but then it came every other game. And then Flamigo and Azumarill are tied for the next most common, then Quill and Greninja. So, Dragapult did not get the most kills actually, it was Flamigo. I'm very happy Flamigo got the most kills. I very much enjoyed using this Pokemon and I would totally draft it again. But yeah, Dragapult did fantastic, Gren was really good. Dio, this kill count doesn't account for how good it was. One week it would have gotten a lot of kills, but I played badly. Another week I would have gotten a lot of kills, but it got hacked. And then it was very supportive for the team as well, besides not getting that many kills. Sandy Shocks, kind of iffy. Moltres was fantastic in finals, but didn't bring it too much otherwise. Okay, let's do this. This is just a little fun thing. I want to do a tier list of all the Pokemon I drafted. Some of the other coaches in Ultra Ball have been doing this as well, so I figured I would hop on the bandwagon. This is in draft order. S is the best. D is I probably wouldn't draft them again. They kind of sucked. Dragapult's S. This thing's so busted. It should probably be banned. It's so versatile. It's so fast. It can be so bulky because it doesn't need to run that much speed. Specs, Choice Band, Dragon Dance, bulkier sets, maybe Weakness Policy. I brought that in quarterfinals. Dragapult's so good. If you have first pick, you should probably be picking this Pokemon. Unless you don't want to use it, then fair enough. But this Pokemon's just so good. Dio, I want to put Dio in A. Dio's probably like just as good as Pult, to be honest. I just couldn't really figure it out. This thing should have been my kill leader, but it's a very hard Pokemon to use. It's very high reward, but a high skill cap of using it. And frankly, I'm not at that skill cap. Um, Dio did not do the wonders of sweeping teams like maybe it should have, but it was a fantastic support Pokemon for my team. I actually really enjoyed defensive Dio sets with Teleport, which tells me maybe I should draft Deoxys defense. Um, but yeah, this thing just setting up spikes, taunt, recover, teleport, fantastic. Also, offensive sets are so good, Psychic Boost hits so hard. And being able to run like max HP every week because you don't need any speed unless you care about some Scarfers. Fantastic. Azu, I almost want to put an S. This thing is so good, but I'm going to leave it in A. Uh, I feel like having strong priority is very important, which to be fair, all three of these have priority, but Azu's like true strong priority that I can comfortably bring every week. Bringing extreme speed or sucker punch isn't that consistent. But Aqua Jet is always good. It always hits hard. It can check a lot of scary Pokemon, like if I'm facing like an Iron Moth like I did in semifinals. Did I even bring Azu that game? I don't even remember now. But just having something that can be in the back to always check that offensive threat, like an Iron Boulder or an Iron Moth, is really helpful. Belly Drum, I only ever brought it once, and it didn't work. Got counter teamed and lost. That was my only loss of the season. So Belly Drum Azu, maybe not the best set, but something like a Salt Vest or a Resist Berry, it's pretty good. Sap Sipper's not good though. Probably don't bring that. Although I think I brought that. I did, yeah, I brought that to quarterfinals against a Meowscarada. Um, maybe don't bring that. Greninja, again, between S and A. I'm gonna put it in A. Greninja's fantastic. Although I'm gonna reorder these tiers actually because um, Azu's fantastic. Gren's probably better though. Gren's so versatile. It's so fast. Battle Bond can just win late game. Protean's fantastic, like throughout the entire game, early game, mid game. Um, it can customize its set to the coverage that it needs. It has so many more niche coverage options like extra sensory, rock slide, U-turn. You can use that as an offensive move if you're facing like a grass type that otherwise kind of walls you. Very, very good Pokemon. Fantastic win con. It's another hazard Pokemon. I got a lot of spikes on this team. I actually struggled with rocks for the most part because if I'm not bringing Sandy Shocks now, I'm kind of forced to run rocks on Dio because these rockers suck. Actually, Dunsparce isn't too bad, as you'll see, but Gren was really good. Happy I drafted this thing. Sandy Shocks, he's kind of low. I'll put him in B because that week 3 when I brought Gravity, that was kind of funny. Um, but I just found Sandy Shocks hard to use. It's an electric type that doesn't do anything to other ground types, kind of walled by grass types too. It's fast but not fast enough. It's bulky but not bulky enough. Special attack's pretty good actually. Special attack is the highest special attack of any, or the highest offensive stat of any Pokemon on my team. Or actually no, 125 on Moltres, right? That's for special attack, yeah. So Moltres is actually my hardest hitting Pokemon, if we're not counting huge power. But Sandy Shocks, it was good for hazards, good for screens, kind of pivots around. It kind of wants to be a bulky pivot though, but it's too fast to be a bulky pivot, which is something I struggled with a lot with this team. If I would rehaul this team, I guess if you want to call it, I need slow pivots. I got a lot of fantastic Pokemon, but they struggled to get in. And I don't really support those Pokemon getting in too well, which is why I think I ended up running Teleport Deoxys so often. Which is why I tried to bring U-turn, like slow Berserker to that one week and it didn't work. Baton Pass Dunsparce, something like that. Having better slow pivot, something like a slow King Galar would have really benefited this team. And I did, before I go on to Serena, I did contemplate making a trade. It was like week 2. I thought about dropping Deoxys, Dunsparce, and Berserker, and I thought about picking up the Dunsparce, so it pretty much fills the same role, and Iron Crown, which would kind of combine the roles of Berserker and Deoxys speed. It would give me a real speed, or a real steel type. The speed tier wasn't too important, 98. I already have 101. But would that have made the team better? Probably. But was my first league. I didn't want to make any trades. Although, to be fair, I did change one Terra type on Serena. But besides that, no trades. Um, but back to Sandy Shocks. It's good, not great. Maybe it should be in C tier. But Gravity Soft Sand against that Bronzong in week 3 was cool. Serena also B tier. My only hazard removal. I only ever brought it 3 times, I think, right? Twice. And I think I brought it once too. Actually, I should be saying here. Yeah. So I brought Serena to 3 games of 11. So it did not show up to many games. And I don't think it ever spun a hazard away. I'm trying to remember the games I brought it. I'll have to go back to look, but this thing might have never clicked Rapid Spin. But it's still a fantastic Pokemon without Rapid Spin. It hits hard, it has 120 attack, it has base 98 defenses, so it's pretty bulky. Speed tier 72, it's pretty slow, but it's faster than all the bulky mons, and that's what matters. And then its HP, you're probably running max HP every week to help with the bulk. Good Pokemon. If it really fits the team, I draft it again, but I'm not in a rush to use Serena again like I would be maybe these top 2 tiers. Overquill is, oh my, some of these ads that I'm hoping I'm cutting out for you are really liking this, but Overquill was so good. I'm going to put it in A. Dio was probably better, but Overquill just max defense, max HP with Intimidate, checks most physical attackers unless they've got Stab Earthquake, even like coverage Earthquakes, like from an Iron Hands in finals. I wasn't worried about on this thing because it lives too, and I have Citrus Berry and I can Toxic, whatever. Pain Split, this thing's so good. Ever since I got Pain Split, it can check a lot of bulky Pokemon. It's immune to Toxic, which is one of the big ways bulky Pokemon will wear you down. It can Toxic other bulky Pokemon, Pain Split off of their high HP stats. But also offensively, this thing could be good. I never brought Rain or Scale Shot with Swords Dance, but it could definitely be good on some matchups. Grounded Poison, of course, is a great role to fill. A good Ghost Resist. Fantastic Pokemon. If you're looking at something like Alolan Muck or Skuntank or Drapion and they're sniped, get this thing. It's fantastic, and I'd argue it's better. Moltres, I'm going to put it in B, but in finals it was S. This thing was fantastic in finals. I'm so happy I decided to go with Specs Moltres in finals. It really, I really pulled it off. It was fantastic. It hit its Fire Blast. That's what matters. Twit KO and Alamomola killed the Tinkaton. It was so good. Good bulky Pokemon. The only problem I found with this Pokemon is I felt my opponents were always going to be able to prep for it, so it turned it bad. Like in week 6 against an Excadrill team, which, to be fair, Moltres would have been fantastic there. They had Sneasler, Rillaboom, and Excadrill. Moltres beats all of those. But I felt like it was really easy for my opponent to prepare for that and bring Rock Slide Excadrill, and now I'm out of luck. I get one hit KO'd. So I felt like I could never make safe plays with this Pokemon. I'm always risking a rock move, which happened in finals again, which I'll be uploading that POV probably before this video goes up. So go check that video. Moltres was great. It's a pivot, punishes U-turn, gives me a ground immune because this team's pretty ground weak. And a good fairy resist too, which I didn't have a fairy resist actually. Looking back, my fairy resist on this team is Moltres, and I guess Berserker, and Terra, Fire, Serena. I drafted this thing because I needed a ground immune, I needed a fairy resist, and I'll take another pivot, some more, and like a bulky Pokemon that can heal itself up over time, which Serena is really the only other thing, I guess, recover Deoxys. Well, here's the moment you've all been waiting for. Flamigo sucks. He's in D tier. Just kidding. This thing's S. Probably my favorite Pokemon on this team. I would argue I'd put it over Dragapult maybe. This thing, the kill leader, was fantastic. Won best Terra captain of this league. It was so unbelievably good, just in finals especially. But just being able to Choice Scarf, pivot around, it was a fantastic lead if I was Choice Scarf, fantastic breaker if I was banded. For the Swords Dance and Agility, try to sweep. I never brought Upper Hand on it, but I wanted to. Never found an opportunity to, though. But yeah, Flamigo was fantastic. I would totally draft this thing again. I would probably pick this thing round 1. It's just so funny that most teams can't switch into this thing, and it's like a 6-point mon. And I think I don't want to take credit, but in the next season of PUDL, Flamigo is now 7 points, not 6, and I like to think that can be attributed to me getting 14 kills with it. Love this guy. Totally draft him again. Dunsparce, like B, honestly, this thing was not bad at all. It was fantastic in my semifinals game. A slow pivot, get rocks up, spread paralysis. That's all this thing is going to do, and it's all it needs to do. Um, Very good Pokemon that's can check a lot of special attackers just from max speed F. You don't need to worry about Iron Moth, the Body Slam Parahit, or whatever. Um, Very good Pokemon. I'm saying a lot. It's late, and I've recorded 2 videos now. Dunsparce is good. For a low point Pokemon, if you need a Spectrair answer, I drafted this thing for Spectrair, and I never fought the Spectrair team, so I thought I would never use this, but I did twice, and it was fantastic in both games. Berserker, someone's got to be at the bottom, and it's Berserker. Brought him to 1 game, it's the only game I lost. Although I played very badly that game, it's not Berserker's fault, and to be fair, my Berserker set was bad. I got stalled out by a Cryogonal, somehow. They're electric, but still. How is a Cryogonal going to beat Assault Vest Berserker? It did. It froze me twice, but still. I should not have had no attack investment. You know, it's not that bad. I'll put it in C. I lost that game because of me, not because of Berserker. But it's just not good. It's not bulky enough to be a good slow pivot. It can't heal itself. It does hit hard, to be fair. Like, it could be a hazard lead, like Stealth Rock, Steel Beam, with Steely Spirit. That could do some big damage. But it's just hard to use that thing. Not bulky enough to be a good steal, and with my only steal. So, I think that list looks pretty good. Flamigo, Dragapult, top tier. Gran should probably be up here too. Gran was really good. Moltres, definitely better than these things. Yeah, that looks good. Dragapult was the best Pokemon on my team. Surprise, it's Dragapult. Down to Berserker being the worst. Also, not a surprise, it's a Berserker. So, that is the team that somehow got me into the championship game, and I won it. Alright, just to wrap up this video, this was the playoffs bracket. Dragapult got 5 kills in playoffs, not too bad. Didn't get the kill leader, I was really hoping to get that, but did not end up happening. I faced King K. Bull in finals, it was a fantastic game, although I had a fantastic matchup, so it really helped me out there. Had DJ Snore won, it would have been a different game, but I think I also was pretty good into DJ Snore's team. Let's take a look at that. What could finals have looked like? This would have been my other finals match. They have double weather with screens. Grimmsnarl is the worst thing to see when you're a Dragapult team. What is Dragapult supposed to do into a Grimmsnarl? Burn it and switch out. That's about it. One thing I think looked fantastic in this game was Specs Sandy Shocks. I had a team mocked up for this. I think I deleted it though, so I don't have it anymore. But Specs Sandy Shocks, just clicking Earth Power. His resist to Earth Power is a Braviary, which does not want to take an electric move. So I plan on just clicking Earth Power, Earth Power, Earth Power. I could run Modest because the speed tiers on this team are pretty rough into mine. They have Lycanroc, which is faster, and then their next fastest thing is Venusaur and Braviary at 80. And then 75 on Raging Bolt. Hopefully I know my speed tiers right. Oh, and Ninetales at 100. My bad. So maybe I run the max speed on Sandy Shocks. I'm going off on a tangent, goodness. But I probably wouldn't, because I get Sun Up, Special Attack, Booster, Specs, Earth Power, run through the team. That was my plan. Didn't end up happening because DJ Snore lost that game. Something I found with a lot of King K. Bull's matchups, how he made it all the way to finals. He has a very bulky team, and I think a lot of the people that he faced, especially Willow, did not bring breakers into his team. I know Willow brought Scarf Special Attacking Chomp, which, like, what is that going to do to a Tinglu, you know? And that's why I brought Specs Moltres and Choice Band Adamant Flamigo, breaking through the team. Although also my matchup helps. I think King K. Bull had a really good matchup into some of these other teams. So that's finals. We take home the cup. My first ever draft league, my first ever championship. Very happy with the team I drafted. Very happy with how playoffs went. Definitely, I got lucky in all 3 games, to be honest. Skipper missed a triple axle and a hydro pump. I crit SB Red Dragon 3 times. To be fair, I don't think any of the crits actually mattered. Um, but still, I'll take it. No paras from Body Slam Dunsparce that game though, so I deserve that. And then burn on Alamomola and a defense drop on Cinderace, which I think I mentioned in the finals game post commentary. But that's PUDL Ultra Ball Season 2. We win the whole thing. I want to thank Kaz, Shiro, and Keishawn when he was helping with running this whole league. It was a fantastic introduction to draft, and I'll totally be back for the next season. Although I think how it works is I go up a division because I won, which is kind of scary, but also like now I'll have some real tough opponents. Although also my opponents were pretty tough, especially SB Red Dragon. I was terrified of that game. I felt confident for finals though, but semifinals I thought I was losing that. Um, so cheers to all my opponents that I battled. Good job, SB Red Dragon, for taking down my team once. Too bad you couldn't do it in finals though, or semifinals. Um, Also thanks to everyone who ever mocked with me, helped me, gave me ideas. Everyone who told me to bring Hex on Dragapult for finals, although I don't think I ever clicked it. But it was definitely good. Glad I brought that over, like sub disable. That's what I was thinking about bringing. I think that's everybody I need to thank, right? The owners, the mods, the my opponents, my people who helped me mock, people who helped me build teams. Thank you. I wouldn't have been here without you, I don't think. I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first draft league. But I've been babbling on long enough. Thanks for watching. I still have 2 seasons going on. It's not over. 2 draft leagues. Probably not going to win those, but who knows. Um, Go watch those 2. I have not as good teams, especially the one. If you know, you know. But thanks for watching, and it was a great season. See ya.